Yo, what's up, guys? It's Jordan Santiago back with another one, and this one is going to be how we wound up making just shy of $50,000 on a property in North Carolina while I live in New York City without ever needing to leave my house, go see the property, go meet the seller, meet the buyer, attend the inspection, attend the closing, none of that. Okay, if you don't know how I do business by now, right, if you're just starting to watch this channel or follow me on social media, I do everything remotely. Okay, from fix and flips in Hawaii to owning rental properties in Florida without ever seeing them still. Okay, and everything in between, from hotels, novations, wholesale deals, everything in between, completely remotely, never needing to leave my house to do it. So I have the location freedom to move and shake wherever I want and still make money, still close deals. Okay, so on this one, I basically want to break down how the lead came in, right, from A through Z, how we made the offer, how we ran the numbers, the story behind it, and things like that, right? So first, make sure you guys follow me on social media. On Instagram, it's the Jordan Santiago. On X or Twitter, it's the letter J Santiago. On TikTok, it's the Jordan Santiago _. And make sure you guys check the resources in the description, because we have a lot of resources to be able to help anyone in any stage. Okay, from one-on-one mentorship all the way to joining our low-ticket community where you can join our calls, ask questions every single day and get them answered by me, get resources, things of that nature, okay? And make sure definitely you like and subscribe if you do like this video, okay? So to start from the beginning, the way this lead came in, guys, was from Google PPC, okay? It was located in Caron, North Carolina. And if you don't know what PPC is, it stands for pay-per-click, right? And for that, it's basically Google Ads. So if a seller goes and types in, hey, I need to sell my house fast, or stop foreclosure or something like that, my website will pop up. Not just mine, but other companies like my own as well will pop up, and the seller can click that and then go submit a form with all the property details. Okay, I'm talking about the phone number, the address, their name, their asking price, their motivation, right? Why they want to sell, the condition of the property, how fast they want to close, everything. They lay it all out for you, which is why PPC is my favorite currently right now. Okay, and I love it because it's an inbound marketing channel, right, that provides warmer and hotter leads than outbound. Even though I still do outbound marketing, PPC is our main channel, right? So this woman must have looked up sell my house fast or something of that nature, found us, and submitted the form, okay? And again, this was located in Caron, North Carolina. And once you guys know how to, what I like to call, do deals remotely, it doesn't matter where the property is. It's the same process everywhere, right? And once you do it in one state that you don't live in, you could do it all over the country, okay? Or even in your backyard. If you just don't want to go see the property, it's fine, okay? Now this one, again, came in through PPC. It came straight to our CRM, okay? REI Takeoff is our CRM. If you guys are interested, I'll put the link in the description, right? So it comes into REI Takeoff, right to our CRM, and Caron, North Carolina is a pretty hot market. So we're like, all right, well, this is interesting. Let's check it out. We hop on the phone with her quick, because that's what you have to do with PPC leads. You have to get on them very quick. So we hop on the phone, and she's telling us basically how her and her 3 other siblings, so it's 4 people, right, want to sell because their parents passed away. They inherited the property. Property's in kind of rough shape. Not too bad, but rougher shape. They need the money. They want to sell quick, this and that, right? So there was 4 people that had to sign, right? So if you have multiple people on the deed, just know all people have to sign or else you don't really have a deal. Thank God for us, all people did want to sign. They all wanted to sell, and they all wanted to sell quick. All right, but she was asking $425,000 or $440,000, somewhere in that range, right? Which was basically retail. Okay, it was close to retail, right? So I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's a little tight. But you'll see, and this is a rule in our company, we always make the offer no matter what. And you'll see exactly why when we break it down, right? So she's telling us that her parents had passed away, and obviously this is a situation, a problem that we can help solve for her and also get paid. Okay, a very sweet woman. We're like, all right, listen, we can help this person as long as the numbers make sense, the price makes sense. Okay, so at this point, once we got off the first phone call, and that first phone call for us is building rapport, getting the property condition, the price, the motivation, the timeline, how quick they want to sell, all that good stuff. Once we got that, now it was time to go run numbers, right? And now I want to go into how we ran the numbers, what offer we came up with, how we got accepted, and how we finally made that near $50,000. Right, so at this point, guys, we are coming to PropStream, okay? PropStream is our preferred source of running comps. We also use Zillow. We use some a site called NARRPR, which is for realtors, so you can build a good relationship with a realtor, and they can give you access to either their MLS or if they have this account. And you can see right here, it thinks it's worth 478,480, which was pretty accurate, right? Which is pretty accurate. If you come here, ours was 3 bed, 3 baths, kind of like a lot of these, right? Some of them have one extra bed, but one less bath. Some of them the same. This one is sold for 550, right? The thing with our property though is it didn't really have a backyard. It had a front yard, right? But it didn't have a backyard, and a yard is obviously more preferred with families, kids playing, right? It's safer to play in the back than obviously in the front near the road, right? So we're come and we're looking at these sales prices. We're looking at some of the information, the lot, the square footage, things of that nature, right? And we're seeing they're all pretty much in the same range. It's like a 475 to 525 kind of range, right? And that's kind of what we came up with. That's what a realtor confirmed as well. Again, we had to really take into account the fact that we didn't really have a backyard. Again, we knew that was going to hurt our ARV. If you don't know what ARV stands for, it means after repair value. We knew that was going to hurt us a little bit. Okay. So what I like to do, first of all, guys, with comms is I want to go look and I want to go see why it sold for that price, right? Because there is a story behind every single price, right? Properties just don't sell for a price for no reason. There's a reason why. Okay. And you can see this is very clean. The bathroom's renovated, new floors, right? Nice back deck. Okay. Nice driveway, garage, things of that nature, right? And then even if you wanted to go back and check out, let's just see, 525. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. Let's check it out. Let's check it out, right? So let's see, let's check the pictures. And this is what I like to do. This is what I do on every single one of my comps, what my team does. All right. So they obviously have a nice little backyard, they have a shed in the back, and it's renovated, right? Like it's nice and clean. New kitchen, right? New paint, new floors, you could tell. The bathrooms are new, the rooms are nice. Okay. So bathroom right there again. Okay, and that definitely helps as well, right? Pool, tennis court stuff. That's stuff that our property just didn't have, and this sold for 525. So the reason I look at why something sold, right, for a certain price and why I want to see pictures or a description is because I can put baselines on where my property is now. So if my property doesn't have a backyard and doesn't have access to a swimming pool and a tennis court, then my property is not worth 525, right? So we wind it up after doing that over and over, right? Seeing properties that sold for 525, they had this, but our property didn't, right? Or sold for 500, they had this, but our property didn't. We came up with our ARV, okay, was going to be around 475 to 500, right? Which actually was spot on with what our eventual realtor connect over there thought as well. Okay. Now, when you go back, obviously you guys weren't on the phone call, but the property it wasn't in atrocious shape. But the thing is, guys, what you have to take into account is the fact that it's a bigger property. So when a property is 2,000 square feet, 2,500 square feet, 3,000 square feet, it's just going to need more work, obviously, than a property that is 1,200 square feet, 1,500 square feet, right? So this needed new flooring, it needed new paint, needed partially a new roof, new little deck thing it had in the back, new kitchens, new bathrooms. It needed a lot of work, right? So this was going to cost, let me shut that off for you guys. This is going to cost over $100,000. Easy. Okay. So we put our repairs, we're going to be at 100,000. Now, right away, and if you're one of my students, you know this, right? If I don't like to be a slave to the 70% rule, but it's good to just do quick sometimes, right? So if we are being conservative at $475,000 and we want to do the 70% rule, right? 0.70 minus, $100,000 worth of work, that would put us somewhere around $230,000, which I think is a pretty low offer, right? So we would be at 230. And again, if you guys don't know the 70% rule, right? It's ARV times 0.70. minus repairs minus your assignment fee, which is how much you want to make, equals your offer, right? And I don't like being a slave to the 70% rule, because you're only a slave to the 70% rule if you're not a real investor and know how to break down numbers, right? Like myself, all my students, everyone in our community knows how to actually break down numbers as if they were a flipper, even if they're not flipping. Okay, so that's very, very important, right? So basically what we wind up offering first was $250,000. Okay, because if I'm looking at 250 and I want to sell this for, let's just say 25 grand, okay, and someone puts in $100,000 into it, they're going to have to pay commissions and closing costs and things of that nature, which might rack up to another $25,000. Okay, so they still have room to make $75,000 to $100,000, right? And that is basically what we did, right? So we offered $250,000, and I think we agreed at 260 or 270 or something like that, right? Remember, she was asking $440,000. So most investors, most wholesalers, most people in this space would say, "Oh, that's a dead lead, no motivation. On to the next one." Okay, you have to understand, not every single seller is just going to come out of the gate and say, "Yeah, here's what I want," and it's a lowball offer. Okay, they want as much money as possible, even if they're in a distressed situation. They want as much money as possible. So they're going to tell you, "Hey, I want this number." That doesn't mean they have a lot of room to work with. Okay. That's why we say always make the offer, especially if their motivation is there. In this case, her parents had passed away. She inherited the property. She couldn't really keep up with it. There's motivation there. Okay. So instead of being afraid of offering super low or just saying, "Oh, this person's not motivated," right? We said, "Screw it. Let's see what happens." We made the offer. She came back to us at like $10,000, $20,000 more. We brought her down a little bit and we kind of met in the middle, right? And that's where we were. Okay. I think we got under contract for 260, right? For $260,000. Okay. Now that is how we ran the comps. We went to PropStream. Again, you want to do the due diligence on all the other comps that sold as well. Not all of them, but maybe 3 to 5, so you can place your property in a certain price range as well. Okay. And with us, we have a repair cheat sheet that we can go over again in another video. Okay, that allowed us to come up with, it was going to take 100 to, or 90, it was 90,000 to $100,000 worth of work. Okay, because again, guys, take into account the size of the property sometimes, right? The size, the market, all those things come into play, right? And then our ARV we came up with is around 475 to 500 grand. So we came up with an offer for 250, wound up getting under contract for 260. Okay. And I think we wound up selling it for it was 310. So really we made 50 grand, but we had to pay some fees, right? And I wound up netting just under $48,000, as you guys saw in the beginning of the or just over $48,000, as you guys saw in the beginning of the video. All right. Now, once we had this under contract, we knew this market was super hot. Okay, super hot, right? So we threw it on Facebook and we got like 50, 60 DMs. It was crazy. Okay. We wound up actually selling this deal, right, to a buyer that we already know in one of our local markets, who's a very good buyer. She's going to make a lot of money on this property. We made a lot of money. She's going to make a lot of money, right? But our main first source, because we didn't know she was going to buy in that market, our main first source was to put it on Facebook because we knew it was a deal and we knew that we would get a shit ton, excuse my language, of DMs and interest, which we did. So even if our buyer that we knew didn't buy it, we had 50, 60 people lined up, knocking on our door, calling me, texting me, DMing me, right? Commenting under stuff on my Facebook just to get my attention, just to go see the property. Okay. We were getting sight unseen offers for 305 and 300. So we were going to make a lot of money regardless. But again, it all comes down to, one, understanding the motivation. Okay. Coming up with the correct ARV. Do not, what anyone tells you, do not just look at what property sold for, add them up, and divide them and average them out. Do not do that. That is completely wrong. Okay? Go and look at the story behind every single comp that sold and place your property in the appropriate range. Okay? Just like you saw me do, right? Repairs, right, is something that's going to change from market to market, from property to property. Okay? It's something you definitely have to work on. I'm going to make a video going over that specifically. Okay. And that's how we came up with our offer, got on the contract for 260, and that's how we found our buyer. Okay. But again, you have to make the offer. This does not happen if the offer is not made. Once you identify motivation, and this person was motivated, or these four siblings were motivated, you must, no matter what their asking price is, make the offer. I always say, I don't give a bleep what a seller's asking price is. I'm going to offer what makes sense for me. Because guess what? If they accept it, I just hit a home run. I'm going to make a lot of money. If they don't accept it, it is what it is. Okay, I'm on to the next one. That's the worst case scenario. It is what it is. All right, so always make the offer, right? Run comms correctly, okay? Discover the motivation and get the thing on the contract. And just to get very specific, once we did make the offer, my acquisition manager stood on the phone with the seller and walked her through the contract that we sent via e-signature. Okay, we use Right Signature, right? We sent the contract via e-sign. My acquisition manager walked her through the contract, stayed on the phone with her, which I highly advise you guys to do because that will increase the amount of contracts that you get. She signed, and we found that buyer 2-3 days later, and we were able to close 30 days after that, right? So we made just shy of $50,000 in around 30 to 35 days. All right, and this again just comes from one, marketing consistently, whether it's PPC, which we do outbound as well, but whether it's PPC, cold calling, direct mail, PPL, Facebook ads, SMS blasts, okay? It's consistent marketing, right? It's consistent conversations, and it's making the offer no matter what. Remember, it is a quality game, but it's also a volume game as well, right? So the number one thing you guys should be focused on is generating leads, making offers. That is it. If you do that consistently, there is literally no way you do not get deals, okay? So make that your number one priority in 2025 and going on, right? And you will get deals, period, point blank. It's impossible not to. Right? And like I said, if you do need extra assistance, feel free to reach out to me in the DMs on Instagram or on Twitter. Okay? I answer. I like to network and I like to talk to everyone. Feel free to check out the resources. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video. Let's go.